Welcome back to the 100 horror films in 31 days for October. This is day 9. I got in 4 films, not bad. The first was 1986's The Zero Boys by director Nico Mastorakis, who most notably did the video nasty Island of Death. I don't have this on Blu-ray. I watched it on a streaming service, but Arrow's released a new Blu-ray of it. It's a most dangerous game takeoff with really teenagers. It's at that time you had Kelly Maroney, who's in this film. She was very popular. I mean, she was in all the different type of teenager type films. Was she in Last American Virgin, or she was in a bunch of these different films, but she was in like The Night of the Creeps, that type of stuff. I mean, there was a whole slew of these films that featured teens, being terrorized. So they decided to do the most dangerous game and use teens for this. This film really, I mean, unless there's some nostalgia for you growing up in that time to see the film, I don't think it holds up. And there's no nostalgia for me because I didn't see it in the late 80s or 86 when it came out. I mean, I was 20, 21 years old, but it missed my radar screen. So I have no nostalgia for The Zero Boys. I mean, it was kind of fun, but really I just found it kind of silly and not particularly good. It's not a particularly good, convincing story as it relates to some of the better ones that are done for Most Dangerous Game. I give it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't bad. It's just not my cup of tea. Next up was Patrick. This is a Severin release. Now, Patrick's an Australian release, Australian film by a guy named Richard Franklin, who did Road Games, which is a great movie. Stacy Keach. The guy here who plays Patrick basically kills his parents and ultimately ends up in a coma. And he's a vegetable. They're keeping him alive in a hospital, and he really has no movement other than... Actually, he doesn't even move his eyes. He just kind of stares out into space. Probably the easiest acting role in history. The guy just laid in bed the whole time, staring. Ironically enough, his last name is the same as not mine, so we may be related. I think his name's Robert Thompson. It's a good movie. It's a little long. I mean, at an hour, almost hour 45, almost pushing 2 hours, I think it's a little bit much for a telekinesis type story. But basically, Patrick controls all those around him simply through his mind. He can control typewriters, and he can control furniture, those type of things. And ultimately, there's a sinister plot about at the hospital to actually get rid of him, which becomes unveiled. It's a good story, interesting story. I think it's a decent one-time watch. I don't know that it would hold up to repeat viewings. I give it a 7 out of 10. And then I got into this double feature from Code Red. First up is The Last House on Massacre Street, which came out in like 1973. I want to say 1973. It was also known as The Bride, and it was directed by a French guy, Jean-Marie Polasilic. This is his only directing effort. It's a good movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's basically a revenge story. A bride catches her groom on her wedding day screwing around with a friend or an ex-lover, whatever. And basically the rest of the movie is her terrorizing, supposedly her terrorizing this couple. Interesting film. Kind of plays more like a TV film. It's pretty tame, but there was some genuinely interesting and captivating moments in this film. It kept my attention, and the ending, I think the payoff ending, the surprise ending, is worth the price of admission. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then finally we get to the Video Nasty 1980s, not Last House on the Left. House on the Edge of the Park. Now, House on the Edge of the Park was a Redato Deodato film with David Hess, our buddy David Hess from Last House on the Left, and it was the acting debut of Lombardo Radici, who was, of course, in the Cannibal films. This is a rape revenge film, and it is a brutal deal. I mean, they don't hold any punches. I think in a lot of ways this film is a much tougher watch than Last House on the Left. The film was titled to take advantage and parlay the success of Last House on the Left, by the way. And ironically enough, another little tidbit, David Hess's wife is the initial rape victim, which I found really interesting. But it's a tough watch, and you really enjoy, but the problem with these rape revenge films is they get you so pissed off. And David Hess is just fantastic. My God, he is such an asshole. He was just tailor-made for these parts. You want to see him tortured and slowly killed off for what he did to these people. So it really, that's kind of, it stirs a lot of emotion. Rape revenge movies stir a lot of emotions in me that I don't really like. But what more can you ask of a film? If it incites that kind of feelings in somebody, that's what it's trying to do, and it accomplishes it. Really good movie. Not an enjoyable watch, except for maybe the revenge part, but it achieves its purpose. So I give it a 7 out of 10 as well. All right, well, that's going to do it for day 9, and we're going to crank on here. I'll give you an update on day 15 as to where I stand on the 100 films. We'll keep on going. Thanks for watching.